Hey, how's it going? My name is Sean, Golden Hitmonlee here on YouTube. I wanted to do a video reviewing the Landyacthz Dingy Turbo. Just because when you're looking, to buy something new and you're just researching it, there's never enough content. There's a lot of YouTubers that have covered this product and Landyacthz himself on their own YouTube, but I've had it for a month now, and I feel like I can give my honest and fair opinion on what I think about it, if it was a good purchase, like the pros and cons of this board specifically in relation to other skateboards. Um, I'll talk about like my skating background and why I gravitated toward this. But just out of the gate for people that don't really plan on watching the whole thing, high quality product. I really enjoy it. It's probably the fastest cruiser I've ever skated on, and I really enjoy it. If that's just kind of what you're looking for, yeah, give it a go. But anyway, so um, I've been skating for relatively like around 10 years, mainly on a setup like this. This is my entire skate experience for the most part, where I was like actively skating like a lot. And the first thing you probably notice on this board is the trucks because they're really big. Um, and yeah, it's kind of what I wanted. After I got over the hurdle of like initially learning how to skate, I didn't start like as a child necessarily. I kind of started like 16, 17, 18, and after just learning how to like cruise places, cruisers are what I've always skated on. I've never really owned a popsicle deck or like a longboard or anything like that. I've always skated with the cruiser. They're my preference. They're always what I gravitated toward. So this is like the majority of my experience, and the reason why I went with something like this is because you just with the really large trucks, you really get a lot of stability going fast down hills and like really being able to carve them out. I mean, you can like straight up get sideways if you know what you're doing. Um, and this is a really cool build. I really the only thing about it, if you want to go with something like this, because the way I kind of looked at it is cruisers in and of themselves are like the combination of like longboards and traditional skateboards. But I really kind of pushed it to the edge here, and like I gave it a total thumbs up. But if you get something like this, just remember to be pushing on the outside, because the one major drawback is, for one, if you want to do something like this is two major drawbacks. You got to make sure you have a board that is suited to have these, and makes don't you can't really do it with like over an 8-inch width for the most part. Like the first deck I had this on was a 7.5, a little crooked zip singer. I changed out everything on this board over the years. So the only thing that has remained the same are the trucks. But getting back how this relates all to the Dingy Turbo is this is just my background. This is where I came from, and so and this is really good. But in like the overall speed department, it wasn't good enough, really. Like like when you fight wind and just a bunch of other factors, like it just kind of makes it a pain in the ass. So getting back to the turbo, the one thing I really noticed about the board when I first got it was the overall weight is it's pretty heavy. This feels like a good, I might be over exact, maybe like a good 6 pounds, maybe 7, something like that. And you compare it to something like this is much lighter. And same with the regular uh, Landyacthz dinghy. It's much lighter. You're much lower to the ground, obviously, and all these things, it being light and low to the ground. The benefit of that is it's much easier to push like around places. The benefit of this, so this is like a much more casual kind of experience. I've found this is actually my roommate's board. When I bought this one, I kind of talked him into getting a board and skating with me. So he's not really a skater, and so he went the traditional, just the regular dinghy, the regular size dinghy. It's not the tugboat or the other one they got. But with this overall heavier, much larger wheels. I think these are 73s. And but one thing that's really kind of different than the regular Dingy is the shape of the board itself. With this one, you have much larger. I mean, I'm not really sure how this one has any. I guess it does. The wheel wells and the overall flare of the board is much more drastic compared to the regular one. When I bought this, I thought it was just a Dingy with like fatter trucks, fatter wheels, but no, the board shape is actually different, and that's to accommodate these large wheels. And it actually comes with risers. Both this one and this one came with risers. The first thing I did was take them off. I feel like when you're up higher on the board, you really have to dig deep when you're pushing and like squat lower, and it just makes it's more tiring, and it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like a weird experience being like super high up on the board. I don't really like that. You do sit a lot higher on this board, and pushing it around for that reason is like a more arduous task than something like the regular Dingy. But the payoff is like the overall, like this is a momentum, like it carries its momentum very, very well because of how big the fucking wheels are. I mean, look at those things. And I hear these Spaceball bearings that come on this are really, really fast, and I can kind of attest to that now. I know you've had to break them in, so I'm filming this video like a good month, maybe month and a half after I bought this. So like I thought about doing an unboxing, but like, you know, there's 1,000 of those on YouTube, and you know, I wanted to give like a intelligent review on this that would mean something to someone that's like looking to buy one of these. So like overall, much faster board, but like harder to get going. And this thing's an absolute beast down hills. I was a little worried coming from this with the super large trucks if I was gonna have like stability issues going downhill, but no, this thing, it's really well built. Like a lot of times, like when I bought this one, I bought this one as the only thing that have remained the same on this skateboard is the trucks, and I just bought all new components for this along with a Sector 9 fully complete, which is where I got the deck. And I was super unimpressed with what I got from Sector 9, honestly. It was like $150. It was a full price board. And I remember as a kid, Sector 9 being like that hot shit skateboard brand. And like the bushings split like pretty instantly, like within a couple days. The wheels and the bearings sucked. And the wheels, I don't know how good the wheels were, but like they weren't the proper wheels for a cruiser setup. So I don't know what Sector 9 is thinking. But so just be careful. And that's why buying from Landyacthz it feels like a safer bet, because they do a lot of PR with all their boards. I don't know if you watch any of their videos on YouTube, but what they do is they essentially just take the year's lineup and just give them to their like skate crew, and they're fun videos to watch. They skate around like all over the world, and the good part about it is like you can see confident skaters skating on the board that you plan to buy, like in their videos, and that's like a definite plus for me, because you're watching them do it on the board that you want to buy. So a lot of other companies, they kind of just don't do that. So hats off to them. And the quality, like it's pure quality, these boards. You really, because if you're gonna spend the Dingy Turbo was like, it was $200, and that's expensive for sure. I went with the Turbo instead of the regular because I don't know, I wanted to enhance my skating experience to the highest possible level, I guess you could say. And there's a couple of other things I want to note about this board. I guess I haven't covered quite all the pros. So one of the cons, I already said it with the weight, but I think with this one, with the Dingy Turbo Flight, in the 2020 lineup, you got the Dingy Turbo Flight and the regular one with that like cat graphic. And me personally, I don't really care for the graphic. I like this one better. Kind of one of the reasons why I chose it. But this one, the Flight, has a layer of fiberglass in the board, and I'm not really sure if that's a bonus, to be completely honest. I don't really know a whole lot about like skate dynamics or something like that. I'm sure like they got scientists over there at Landyacthz. But what I feel is it adds extra weight to the board, which is unwanted. So maybe going with the cheaper, just regular turbo might be the play. I sort of wish I did that. I wish I had one here to compare, but it is nice because I have the regular, the regular to compare to. So yeah, definitely a possible con. But overall, I really enjoy this board. The flares are set up in a way where your foot really sits in snug, right where you want them to be. I mean, even if you push Mongo, which don't push Mongo, but even if you do, like your foot really sits in there nicely, which is something that I really enjoy. It's got a kicktail. I've tried. I really wanted to learn how to like ollie high and maybe do a fucking kickflip, but cruisers are just not the skateboard to do it on. I was considering purchasing the Coffin, which is another skateboard in their lineup, but they were out of stock with the one I wanted, so I went with the cruiser because I wanted to go fast, and yeah, you definitely achieve that with this board. I would like to see in the future, if any Landyacthz people are listening, um, maybe you never see wheels sized in maybe like a 69, 68, 67. If because really from what I see, you get wheels like this, or you get 63s. 63 kind of seems to be the standard cruiser wheel size, which is fine. But one thing I've noticed about these, they you power slide super easy with them. With these, they're a little bit more grippy. But careful in water. What for some strange reason, water is like the number one like flat surface, like smooth concrete water. You gotta be careful. But other than that, super grippy wheels. I find it relatively hard to break traction, and I kind of suck at sliding. I took it down a massive hill the other day, and I was just able to really kind of dig in with the cars, and the accidental power slide I did hit, like I totally fucking pulled it off. So hopefully I'll get better at that. But if you plan on doing ollies or anything, first off, you're really good because there's no front nose on this. So I don't know how you ollie. I've been trying so much lately on this cruiser. But overall, the board setup is really heavy. So that definitely is a negative if you want to get airborne in any sort of way with this board. So I guess the overall point is this is kind of like a very specific type of, it's made for one thing. It's made to carry momentum. It's made for speed, really. It's made for going quickly. Um, the regular dinghy is much more of a casual kind of experience, but I would still recommend it. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a pretty cool owl emboss graphic. I think this is the emboss. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, I know I'm not like a wizard or a genius about skating or anything, but I do have a lot of experience on cruisers, and I'm always interested, like new ideas and shit. So yeah, leave a comment. I don't really care if you like or sub. I'm not like a regular YouTuber, it doesn't bug me too much. But if you made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you watching what I've put out there, and yeah, have a fantastic day, and yeah, bye bye.